Hey everyone, this is Matt from End Sickness. Today I'm going to be talking about how childhood trauma leads to chronic illness. All right, very interesting topic. I personally experienced childhood trauma, later had a chronic illness, recovered from it, and during the recovery it was interesting. I kind of had to address the childhood trauma to really fully recover, and I realized that that was at the root of the whole illness. All right, so childhood trauma, how this plays a part in your chronic illness symptoms. Well, let's say something happens to you when you're in your formative years, in the first 8-10 years, and what it does is say something traumatic. It makes your brain get into a state of danger or threat, where it starts to perceive danger, perceive threats around it. Now that you've had this traumatic event, and then from that point on in life, early, you start to look at events in the eyes of someone who's been traumatized, and now you see things differently because of this past trauma. And in addition, now you're looking for different coping mechanisms to fill this void, to try to get rid of the trauma when it shows up, when you get triggered by things that remind you of this past childhood trauma. So what happens with people is, like myself, is you will end up going ahead and consuming the wrong foods, using substances, getting into the wrong relationships, working yourself to death, whatever it is, whatever your addiction becomes, whatever your coping mechanism is. Most of the time what happens is these people have unhealthy coping mechanisms. They work themselves to death, they eat the wrong foods, they over-exercise, they're constantly evaluating themselves and how they're not good enough, and how, and basically this trauma from early life continues to replay itself. For me, right, it was, I'm scared to be alone. I don't deserve real relationships or deserve love. Maybe these things from when my dad left when I was young that really hurt, and then my mom remarrying, and just various things that kind of that led me to feel like I was always the odd one out, and that I didn't fit in, and that I was always kind of like desperately seeking affirmation in relationships and my reality, because of it. So it formed all of my decisions. It caused me to to hang with the wrong people, to eat the wrong foods, to value the wrong things, all that. And eventually all I had to do was have a couple years of acne medication combined with this trauma, and next thing I know I have a gut problem, and now next thing I know the emotions are hitting me even worse, and I'm going for the foods that are making me feel better in the moment, the things that are making me feel better in the moment. And this is how it works, with chronic illness. It develops often from these unaddressed emotional burdens that you've carried with you most of your life, and they have affected your behaviors so that you seek immediate gratification to be able to overcome these emotional challenges in the moment. And it's something that I had battled with most of my life, because I was unable or unwilling to address the trauma that had happened in the past and accept it and move on from it. So the point I want to make in this video is, if you have a chronic illness, there is trauma to address still, okay? And usually it's easier to address it towards the end of the illness when your symptoms are better, and this is what I help clients do. But we also want to make sure that we address the counterproductive statements and the counterproductive belief systems, and change the storyline, and do all the things that are necessary to recover from chronic illness. You don't necessarily have to overcome the childhood trauma right away. That's something that typically happens last. What you need to focus on is changing the storyline, getting rid of the fears that are unfounded fears, focusing on your healing and what you're going to do when you get better, all the things, and envisioning the right things that are coming to you, and stopping paying attention to the little signs that things may not be working out, building off the little things, and building momentum mentally. These are the things that I help clients do. We go through what emotions, what thought loops that they're going through over the course of a week. We have them document them along with the foods they're eating, the symptoms they're feeling, and we start to see how these things connect. Are they feeling stressed at work over and over again? Are they stressed because they feel like they're weighing their family down because they're sick and everybody has to take care of them? I mean, there's lots of things. We have to figure out what these statements are that people are saying to themselves in their head, and start to work through them, and create opposing affirmations, and start to deconstruct these things, to realize that most of this is linked back to past events, past trauma that we're connecting with this current moment. So thanks everybody for watching. Just want to go over how chronic illness can be initially created or initially caused by traumatic events, and how that can create a brain that's hyperreactive to everything, hyperreactive to stress, hyperreactive to foods, hyperreactive to mold, hyperreactive to other stressors, etc. And then that sets you up in a place where you're threatened, you feel a sense of danger subconsciously on a consistent basis, and then there we go, we're set up for illness, because we don't know how to actually process these emotions. We just keep pushing them under the rug long enough and they turn into symptoms eventually. So thanks for watching. I got plenty more videos all out here in nature teaching you about how to heal yourself through the diet, through the environment, and with your mind. Take care, everybody.